Hello, I'm Dave Abrams.
And I'm Kristen Lagana. Welcome to Anne Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll grade the county's response to the snowstorm and look at how a Facebook post landed a Pasadena man in handcuffs. But first, making headlines this week. Well, surfing the internet just got a whole lot better if you are landing on the shores of the land of pleasant living. This week, Anne Arundel County activated a brand new website at www.aacounty.org, and it looks marvelous.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. The new site features a whole new design. It shrinks to fit any phone or tablet. It's packed with pictures and video, and best of all, it makes it easier than ever for you to find the county services that you're looking for. Please check it out and take a look around. Our goal is to get you to the information you need in 3 clicks or less. Sometimes it only takes 1, Dave.
I've heard that before.
Oh yeah? Now here's a little pro tip. Check out the How Can We Help You box in the middle of the page. Type what you're looking for, such as adopt a pet. Before you're even finished typing, the link you need is right there. Just click and you're there. In seconds, you can find out how much it costs, adoption viewing hours, and how to reach animal control. The Office of Information Technology's web team spent about a year redesigning and reconfiguring the site with the help of Systems Alliance Incorporated. The web team had to start from scratch to review and reorganize 4,000 pages of content. A little tired there, huh, Dave?
A little bit. Not that I went through 4,000 pages, but I did get to have a role in it. And shout out to Ryan Blair and Christine Hagan and Sandra Heisch, who were the bones of the operation. And these guys worked really, really hard. They did a really great job, and I think everyone's going to be really happy with the new website. We're very excited about it.
I got to go on it a bit today, and it looks lovely. It looks a lot better. I feel like we're finally in 2016.
Right.
So I think it looks great.
It's been, at least it's been more than 10 years since the site was redesigned. So we like it that way because it just shocks you just because it was so old before that you're going to notice the difference right away.
I feel like we've had this affinity for navy blue, and I'm glad to get to some other colors now.
It's
teal.
Teal.
Yeah, teal,
Just
right from the colorblind guy.
Shout out to Christine Hagan right there. She likes the teal, right, Christine? But it was a really good project. We paid a lot of attention to every detail of it. So, certainly if folks have some feedback and some things they would like, done a little differently, we're in that phase now where we're trying to work out some of the kinks. So
sure.
So it'll get there, but it's a big improvement. So we're happy about it. Well, speaking of websites, Kristen, our county Facebook page located at My Anne Arundel in your search bar hit a really cool milestone this week. 10,000 followers.
Yay!
I mean, I feel like we need candles or a cake or something.
Yes, fireworks.
It's like our baby,
Yeah.
The Facebook page has been activated for just over a year and features everything you need to know about the county. Head over and like the page if you haven't already, and don't be afraid to use that share button. That's how you tell your friends, coworkers, and family how they can join the party. There's really nowhere else with so much super local news and information. Plus, it's an easy way to catch Week in Review as soon as it's posted.
Soon.
Now onward to 100,000 followers.
Wow, that's a lot. We're expecting a lot of people in the county to have Facebook.
We are going to get there. You know what? We have 500,000 households.
Yeah.
What's 1/5?
I don't know.
We can do it.
It's just, yeah.
Are you skeptical, Kristen Lagana?
I'm not skeptical.
I'm going to make another proclamation right now.
Okay.
Kristen Lagana wins a Grammy Award.
Okay.
See what I did there?
All right, well, we will definitely be hitting 100,000 followers before I win a Grammy Award, but thank you for your confidence.
My pleasure.
Dave.
I'm confident that this is going to happen.
But not in the Grammy. Well, we couldn't have planned the weather better last week because right after a record snowstorm came some sunshine. And right after everyone had been snowed in for days, people came out in droves for the annual Polar Bear Plunge. The plunge seemed to have extra energy this year as Maryland State Police raised $2.1 million for Special Olympics. Governor Larry Hogan kicked it all off with a salute to Jimmy Myrick, a new friend who has been pledging his entire life.
As I was going through my battle with cancer, I was in the University of Maryland Medical Center, and in order to kind of overcome the effects of chemo, I would do laps around the cancer ward. And the very first day, I met my next door neighbor, who was a young man who has been involved in this organization since he was 8 years old. He epitomizes the courage that all of these athletes have. He's been coming to these plunges for 20 years, ever since the very first one. He's a super plunger. He's been involved in almost every sport. He unfortunately is still fighting a terrible battle with leukemia. So he's not able to be with us today, and his parents are with him, trying to get him healthy. But we have some of his friends from Special Olympics that are going to accept the award on his behalf, and I'm so proud to present this Governor's Award special. Hold it up like this for me. It's the Governor's Special Olympics Maryland Courage Award, and it's recognizing the exceptional courage in the face of adversity, recognizing that you're a leader and helping to create a world where opportunity is not limited by disability. It goes out to Jimmy Myrick, super plunger. Everybody knows Jimmy.
Team Anne Arundel was a huge part of the action, and our cameras were there to catch them barreling into the frigid bay with County Executive Steve Shue leading the charge. Dave, was the county executive wearing what I think he's wearing?
That's right, he was wearing body paint.
Yes.
But I think he pulled it off,
Yes.
you know, it was fun.
And way to be impartial, you know?
Yeah, he had to have the equal treatment for Navy and Army. That was very nice.
Right. So he could
and of
only
course-
hope that fans of one were behind him and fans of the other were in front.
Sure, and just to explain that, you know, obviously Fort Meade is in Anne Arundel County, so we want to make sure we support our folks in the Army as well.
Sure.
Not just Navy, because Navy in Annapolis is such a big deal, but yeah, the body paint was fun. It was fun. That's one of those things you don't know how it's going to go, but it
looks
it was
great.
a lot of fun. He had fun with it, and you know, you have to for a good cause. You know, you wouldn't believe how. You know, we just mentioned that the site went over 10,000, and
Sure.
a lot of that was because of the plunge, because of all the stuff we did with the plunge. People just can't get enough of it. People just love it. It makes everyone feel great. You love to be out there with the Olympians themselves. They're so appreciative and they're so excited about it. It's really the
started
best
out-
event fundraiser
It
that
really
there
is. It started out as a fundraiser, but now I really just consider it more of a tradition.
Yeah.
It's become so huge, and people look forward to it all year. And I think another big part about that energy was all the snow that we recently had. I think
Right.
people were excited
All
that happened
pent up,
that week.
stuck inside.
And not this week. So yeah, great time.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Chris Phipps, Director of the Anne Arundel County Department of Public Works. Take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Tyler Perry. Do you know what hunger in America looks like? Well, it has many faces, and 16 million of those belong to children. Yet billions of pounds of food go to waste each year, and this is unacceptable. You can be a part of the solution. Join us in supporting the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks, which rescues our surplus foods and provides meals to many families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org today. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we're delighted to have with us Department of Public Works, Mr. Chris Phipps. How are you doing today, sir?
Good.
Very good to have you
King
on the
of
program.
snow. You are the queen of snow. Chris
oh,
is
yes,
the king of
I
snow.
do love the snow. You're right. But before we get into the snow conversation, I always like to ask a bit about your history with the county, how long you've been working for the county. Give us a briefing on that.
Sure. I've been the Director of Public Works for about 2.5 years. Prior to that, it's been about 19 years in the Bureau of Engineering, which is in Public Works. Most of that was as Chief Engineer. So working in, be 21 years of service with the county.
Well, we certainly thank you for many years of service. And you're right that you came from a bureau that fell under the department. And let's talk about that for a minute. What exactly is Public Works, its mission, and the divisions that fall underneath of it?
Well, Public Works is primarily focused on providing service and infrastructure maintenance that supports the whole quality of life in Anne Arundel County, and that's road and bridge maintenance, that's storm drain maintenance and stormwater management controls, water and sewer construction, water and sewer operation of treatment plants, so providing potable drinking water, safe drinking water to the citizens, as well as returning wastewater safely back to the environment after treatment, and solid waste management. So we manage the landfill and the recycling centers and manage all the curbside collection.
And we obviously need those to always run fluidly and run well, so you always have a lot on your plate. But lately, one of the reasons that you folks might have been getting a lot of calls was, of course, because of Jonas, the snow.
What's Jonas?
Jonas, not Nick Jonas,
Oh.
Dave. The snow,
Okay.
the blizzard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snowzilla, you mean?
Snowzilla, whatever
prefer
people call
Snowzilla.
it, your hashtag for the snow. But
Yeah.
I want to say overall, seems like it was a great effort with the plowing, doing all the roadways. So kudos to your department for doing such a fantastic job during the snow.
Well, I appreciate that.
How do you feel like DPW
Well,
did?
I feel like we did well, very well. There's over 6,000 roads in Anne Arundel County that we're responsible for. That's made up of over 4,000 lane miles that need to be plowed. That's in our inventory. So it's a monumental effort. And one of the things that I reflect on is that Public Works is pretty much a 7 to 5 operation. But with an event like this, within 24 hours, we transform ourselves into an emergency operations center consisting of hundreds of employees, hundreds of equipment that we are contracting or maintaining within our own fleet. But primarily, we had to contract out over 300 pieces of equipment to supplement our own 70 pieces of equipment. So that alone is a monumental task, just managing all the contract workers and equipment. And we rely on, believe it or not, many other organizations within the county: Department of Recreation and Parks, Inspections and Permits, Central Services, even OIT. They are providing volunteers, as part of the storm response, and many of them are dispatched into contract management in this sort of operational mode. So we transform ourselves from a 7 to 5 operation, wholly internal to Public Works. With an event like this, we transform into an emergency operations center that's reaching out into many different organizations to supply resources, and then having to manage it over a very short period of time. So it's a flurry of activity.
No pun intended.
It was much more than a flurry, Kristen.
Much more than a flurry, dude.
Well, and I look at it too, is that we're getting so much information in from the citizenry about, they're calling in. We had over 4,300 service calls from the citizens, and all of that information is being tracked. And our goal is to respond to each and every one of them through the course of the event.
So how did we do? Did we do excellent, A+?
Well, I don't.
B?
I don't give grades. I don't know how to even grade something like this. I would say that we did very well. Overall, I think we did very well. Obviously, we're going to review our after event and see what we could do better the next time, because we're always about continuous improvement, because there is always room to improve.
And that's not to understate that. There's actually a formal meeting coming up next week where everybody's going to get in one room and look at what worked well and what didn't work as well, to see how we can do better next time.
Right, and we're doing that internally too within the Department of Public Works, but it's also being done on a broader scale across the Emergency Management Office.
Were there any new techniques or tools that you used this time around with the storm that you wanted to talk about?
Well, we did. We test drove a new system, an AVL, Automated Vehicle Locator System, which is a GPS driven application that we can track and monitor the location of plows, whether they're county or contractor plows, because they were all outfitted with the GPS transponders. So we could track them online, spatially, as well as get reports about exactly where they were at any given time. So we were using that information to help us make tactical decisions regarding redeployment of assets. Specifically, we saw that in the heat of the moment, we saw that South County was actually doing fairly well, relatively speaking. So with that information and with the information of how many resources we had, we could redeploy some of those into Central and Northern County to catch up there because of the density of the population and the type. This event, having 30 inches of snow on the roads, made it that much more difficult. We could not get our large plows off of those arterial and collector roads, which are the larger roads, and into the communities as quickly as we would have if it were a 10-inch, 12-inch, 16-inch storm. And I think that's some of the reaction the folks were seeing, the citizens, is that it took a while for us to penetrate the local road network, but that's because we had our resources deployed on the major roads, and they had to do several passes.
Right, more than
Not
one pass.
Right.
It was.
As I've said, it was like having 3 10-inch storms. They had to keep repassing some of the same roads multiple times, as well as open up turn lanes, intersections to make it safe on the major arterials. Then we were able to get into the local roads.
So let's get away from the snow for a minute, though. Any other exciting projects that you want to talk about while you're here that are going on with DPW?
We do have a lot going on in DPW. You know, one of the, I think, highlighted projects for us is the largest capital project the county has ever undertaken. As well, it's going to be the largest nitrogen reducing component of our whole bay restoration program in Anne Arundel County, and that's the upgrades of the Cox Creek wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
We've got a $140 million plus project going on right now to basically reconstruct that treatment plant to limit of technology standards, and it's going to be the highest performing plant in Anne Arundel County. It's our oldest, largest plant, so it's going to make the most difference in our the quality of water that's being returned to the bay. So we're real excited about that, and we have that scheduled to be complete by the end of this year.
It's very exciting.
It's going to be it's a
Huge.
membrane plant. It's a whole different technology for wastewater treatment that we're really excited about. So
And that one's in Glen Burnie. Where is
Cox
it
Creek,
located?
it's next to it's off of Fort Smallwood Road, adjacent to the Brandon Shores Power Plant.
Okay.
Sits
Very
back
good.
there.
Right in my neck of the woods.
And we have some other things. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I think another one I'd like to highlight is just the fact that the county executive added $10 million to our road reconstruction budget last year. So we're in the process of getting, right now is not the time for road reconstruction, but springtime we'll start really hitting the pavement, literally, with work, and we're real excited to see that increase because we've got a backlog. I think most people would agree that our roads need work.
Yeah,
We've got a
Especially
backlog.
after
People
this
excited.
storm.
And after
so-
this storm.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. There's a lot going on there, and I'd be happy to take you guys around, show you some of the projects.
I think we need to do that. A little
Let's do
field
it.
segment,
Let's
huh?
go. Field trip.
Yes. I've always wanted to get in the plow. So next time we have something, I'm raising my hand.
Oh gosh, not on my street.
Very good. Well, lots of exciting stuff going on. Of course, you can always stay up to date on the newer design of the county webpage, and of course, the County Department of Public Works Facebook page, which always highlights what's going on around the county. So thank you so much for joining us this week, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Welcome back. Sheriff Ron Bateman is always coming up with clever ways to nab people with outstanding warrants. One year it was a fake Valentine's Day giveaway. Another year, you do. I remember that too.
Yep.
Another year it was flat screen televisions. Well, this week he had a crook sharing just a little too much information on Facebook that landed him in cuffs. Our own Pat Daly has more. Pat?
Thanks, guys. There's been a crazy course of events the last few days. Somebody obviously learned the hard way. Sheriff Bateman, can you tell us exactly what happened?
Yeah, absolutely. I got notified by a friend of a friend that a fellow by the name of Sean Kavolik Jr., was bragging on Facebook that he had crashed a fundraiser at Michael's 8th Avenue on last Friday, the 29th of January, and how he was drinking all the alcohol and eating all this shrimp, and how good the shrimp was. And so the word got to me. I went on his Facebook page and did some research, saw that not only did he brag about being at that fundraiser, but he also bragged of being at another fundraiser at the same place at Michael's the next day. Well, the first fundraiser happened to be my fundraiser for my campaign. So I got on Facebook and I wrote him a little message. I said, and it says that in his profile that he's a poker player. That's what he does for a living. So using that mindset, I wrote to him, I said, Mr. Sean Kovalik, you had a bad play on Friday night at Michael's 8th Avenue. That thanks for posting your confession on Facebook, and that I'm Sheriff Ron Bateman, and it was my fundraiser that you stole from. See you the next day or two. See you soon. Well, that post remained online for about 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, boom, it was gone. So we made contact through a friend of mine, made contact with him who knew him, and got him to come down to a local car lot on Mountain Road to come see me about this. And I think he was coming there under the impression that he was going to apologize to me, and I don't know if he planned on giving me $50 for the fundraiser ticket that he didn't pay for. But needless to say, he didn't come there for that. He came there to see me, but little did he know there was a warrant out for him. Not a warrant for anything to do with the fundraiser, but a warrant because an outstanding warrant was already in existence for failing to appear in court on a case.
Yeah. Sounds like somebody needs to step up their poker game.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, Pat, because, you know, there's a lot of tells in poker that you have to be aware of. And this guy obviously wasn't paying attention to his surroundings, because there was at least 10 Sheriff Bateman signs speckled throughout the parking lot and inside of Michael's during the event. And there was people actually walking around with Sheriff Bateman bed and breakfast shirts on them with my jail cells. So he missed all that.
Now, where exactly is he now?
Well, he was charged in Anne Arundel County for failure to appear on a traffic case, and he went before a commissioner, and he was released on his own recognizance.
Okay, but again, somebody needs to step up their poker game. When I need some extra cash, I guess I know who to see. Thank you, Sheriff.
All right, Pat. Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pat. And let this be a lesson to you, Dave. Don't post selfies on Facebook when you're trying to evade the law.
I do need to learn that.
You do need to learn that.
Just in general, oversharing.
Yeah.
I need that's my New Year's resolution,
Yeah.
I think. But can you believe, I mean, people do the dumbest things. And Sheriff Bateman is always there waiting for them when they do something stupid.
I think they think there's this wall between things like
Right, I'm just
Sheriff
talking to a
and
few of my
social-
friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the whole world.
No, we're not going to find you.
So, Kristen,
Yes.
it's Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl weekend. I'm so excited. Do you have plans?
You know what? I don't have specific plans.
Okay.
I know it's going to be something amazing, but I don't
All right.
have specific plans yet.
Well,
What about
I'm very
you?
excited.
So what are you going to do?
My best friend from high school, Jenny, and Kristen, we always...
Jenny from the block?
Jenny from the block. She is Jenny from the block. We always go to Jenny's in-laws in Mayo, and so it's great because I used to hang out in Mayo all the time when I was in high school, so I like getting back down to that neighborhood.
Okay.
But Jenny and Kristen were my best friends in high school, and we're going over there, so we'll get to catch up. But everyone's bringing something for the party, so
Okay, it's a potluck
get
party.
this.
What?
Who's playing in the Super Bowl?
The Broncos?
Broncos and Carolina
the Carolina
Panthers.
Panthers, yes.
So for the Broncos, I'm making...
Oh. I was wondering where you were going with this.
This is what I'm doing. Chicken parm bites. You taste so good.
Oh.
And for Carolina, I am making cam fig Newtons.
I like it.
I'm a genius.
Oh my
right?
gosh. How much time did you spend thinking about
like 5
this?
minutes. That's just my weird brain.
All right,
my weird brain.
so make your prediction. Who you got?
I don't know. This is kind of hard. I'm a fan of both quarterbacks.
Okay.
I feel like, you know, Shirley Payton is
Don't
near the
call me
end
Shirley.
Surely that Peyton's on the end of his
Right,
career.
his
so
last hurrah.
I kind of feel like I'd like for him to have one more win in his belt. So.
See, I can't help always rooting for the underdog. I know,
it
can't
is
help it.
weird.
Like,
I was saying to someone today,
I
it's
want the
weird that
Broncos to win, but
Carolina's in the
they're
Super
so
Bowl.
good.
Yeah.
Carolina is so good, and
So
you know what?
they
They
deserve
deserve
it.
to win. They do.
Yeah,
and it
so
might be a just absolute romp.
You know whose
It
side?
might be ugly.
You know whose side I think I'm on this year?
Who?
Fun. I'm on fun side. I just want to have fun. I'm good with either one winning.
We here at
know,
Week
fun.
in Review support fun.
Fun. Fun.
Not the Panthers or the Broncos. Fun.
Fun. And good commercials.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you think? What do you think we're going to see this year?
Well,
we're going to have the Doritos and
they always
the
have a
beer
contest.
and
Gotta have something with Budweiser Clydesdales.
Minions. We'll probably have some Minions.
Yeah, I overheard exciting news that my friend Athena actually composed some music that's going to be in a commercial
What?
for some kind of bottled water. I forget which one it is, but Icelandic or something water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so if you see the commercial,
So does she have a Facebook page?
She does. It's Athena Hiotis, and you can go there.
You got to spell that.
Hiotis. And she wrote this, when you see the commercial.
After she's done with the commercial, is she going to go on hiatus? See what I did?
I see what you did.
That's good.
But it's a commercial where all the ladies are going around different offices and they're all going, it's 10:30. And they all take a break and they go to the window. And there's this guy that's getting out of the water. He's a surfer and he drinks this bottled water. I think it's called Icelandic. And Athena's song is playing. So I thought that was really cool.
That's really cool.
No, it was really interesting. I watched, I guess it was VH1 we had on last night because they always do these countdowns of the top 50 Super Bowl commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of ones that I had forgotten that really kind of taught us how kind of like lingo was cool. Like, what's up? What's up? You know that?
That was a good one.
And the Budweiser frogs
Yeah.
and Budweiser frogs.
Spuds
and
McKenzie.
Spuds McKenzie.
That was probably a Super Bowl ad.
There were some awesome ones that were on there.
So we got
The
Lady
innovations
Gaga.
behind Apple bringing out Mac and all this other stuff, you know, like.
See, you're over prepared. I'm not that prepared.
I don't know.
But
Well, I just watched the special.
So we got Lady Gaga singing the
doing the
national
anthem.
anthem, and halftime is going to be Coldplay and Beyonce.
Beyonce. Let's
discuss this.
All right, let's discuss
Let's break this
this.
down.
I
Let's
have
start with Lady Gaga.
Well, let me see something in reference to both Gaga and Beyonce. Gaga and Beyonce.
Gaga and Beyonce.
I'm all about spreading the wealth. And I feel that they have both had plenty of time to shine in recent big events.
Ooh, rare,
No, I'm
little
not
catty.
raring. It's not that. It's just like Coldplay never gets to do anything, and that's really cool.
That's
Beyonce
because no one likes Coldplay.
She just did a halftime show, which was one of my favorites because all of Destiny's Child got back together, and I loved that.
That was pretty
Plus,
cool.
they popped up out of the floor, and I love when people do that.
So
That's
I'm
exciting.
in favor of Gaga
She just
for
did
the anthem, but
the Frank
please,
Sinatra
can
thing.
she just dress like a normal person?
Well, she has been. That's been her whole thing when she's got.
I know,
since
but
she's
is she
gotten
going to
back.
stay or is she going to fall off the wagon?
I don't know. And is Tony Bennett going to be doing the anthem with her? We don't know.
All right, let's talk about Coldplay.
Okay.
So you like Coldplay?
I like their new song a lot, and if they're playing their newer stuff, because I like Coldplay.
I feel like if you're going to do halftime at the Super Bowl, you have to be huge. Like Donald Trump, huge.
Okay, let's not talk about that.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
And Coldplay does not excite me.
What
My
would
favorite
be
was, what
your-
was it? Aerosmith, Katy Perry, was that what it was?
No,
Or
Katy Perry was by herself.
Was it Aerosmith and Britney Spears? The one with Aerosmith was really good.
It was Aerosmith,
And the one with
Britney,
Katy Perry was really
NSYNC?
good with the sharks and that whole thing. Like that was really cool.
Yeah, and Katy Perry had Missy Elliott.
So are they really gonna be? I'm a little skeptical.
All right, okay. If you could pick your dream halftime show, who would be playing?
Okay. I'm gonna go with. See, I want to say Aerosmith.
Have
but
Foo
they're-
Fighters played?
I don't think so.
I feel like they've gotten to do everything else. Have they not gotten to do a Super Bowl?
Let's see, Madonna's already done
That's
it.
our rock
It has
band,
to
our
be
generation
like
rock
the hugest stars. It can't be. I don't know. I'm blanking. Darn it.
I'm trying to think of like who the newer artists are right now. I don't think any of them really could pull off. I mean, could you see Adele doing a halftime show?
Okay, here it is.
Okay, go.
Adele and Bon Jovi.
Wow. Heart and Journey. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling.
Wow.
Street lights.
There it is. There it is.
Barracuda.
There it is.
Lonely nights.
Well, that
alone.
wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archive episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by simply searching Arundel TV.
He's a magic man.
Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county, and we'll see you next time.
Come on, oh girl, he said with a smile.
Oh, I like that one. Do the.
Yeah. You don't have to love me, but let's get high for a while.
Oh.
Try to understand.
Can I do the shoulders?
Understand. Try to understand.